How's it going, guys? D here. This is Blerd News. We got a lot to talk about today. From D23, more DC news, and Star Trek Day. Let's get into it. First up, DC news. Dan Lin, the producers of the Lego franchise, was slated to be the president of DC Studios. Turns out that's not happening. He tried to work out a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, but it didn't work out simply because of his production company, Rideback, couldn't be brought over to Warner Brothers Discovery. It is now slated to work with Universal instead, and Dan Lin is officially out of the game for being the next DC's Kevin Feige. Next up, D23. This weekend, we had a lot going on at D23. From a lot of Disney to so much Marvel and a good amount of Star Trek. First up with Disney, you got Inside Out 2 coming out. You have the also Disney film Elemental. You have the captivating promo that everyone's talking about from The Little Mermaid, Snow White, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mufasa, The Return, Disenchanted, and another return for a lot of fans, Hocus Pocus 2. There's a lot going on when it comes to Disney, but you still got more going on with the Star Wars world, with franchises such as Andor, Tales of the Jedi, The Mandalorian Season 2, and also a part of the Lucasfilm branch, Willow, is coming out. So you got a lot more coming up with those as well. And lastly, with Marvel at D23, you have Secret Invasion, something I'm really excited to see. Seeing Sam Jackson do his thing, coming back, giving a story that's attached to this is something I'm really excited to get myself a part of. And this is going to make me look at Disney and Marvel a little bit differently simply because of it. Armor Wars, Percy Jackson, National Treasure, and lastly at D23, you got The Proud Family, Louder, Prouder, Season 2 coming out as well. And lastly, in Blerd News, we have Star Trek Day. Star Trek Day has happened countless of times. It's the first airing of the show on CBS, and whenever this comes out, we get tons of information and news about the Star Trek world. This week, they had Noah Spence telling us about the third season of Picard that is going to be showing to us. You got the entire Next Generation cast coming back for this. You have a clip from Strange New Worlds showing us a glimpse into Ortega, the pilot of the Enterprise inside this story, and you get to see a little bit layers of this character inside this clip and give you a nice sneak preview of what we're going to get inside of the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. You get a clip from Lord Dex seeing Boimler's transporter clone show up inside of this episode. His name is Ruffulus Dagger. It's a very odd name, but I'm very much here to see what happens with this story, with this episode, and how the newly captain clone of Boimler is doing inside of the show. You have a clip from the show Prodigy. It's getting a second season. You got Captain Janeway, or Admiral Janeway, coming back, reprising their role inside of the Star Trek universe. And lastly, you have Discovery Season 4 trailer that just dropped also. So you got a lot of things to look forward to when it comes to the Trek world. If you're a big Trek fan, this has been a very big week for you. If you are a well-rounded nerd, this week was a very big week for you, unless you were a DC fan, and you're probably a little bit disappointed. Next up, we got Artist of the Day, and Princess Zahida is going to take this away for us. Let's have it.
Hi guys, I'm Princess Zahida, and I'm here to talk about Artist of the Day. This week, we're featuring Joshua_Adeoye, who is a Nigerian-based illustrator. They can be found on, drumroll because this is a nice list, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. They're not on YouTube just yet, but there is an interview that's out on Spotify if you guys want to give that a listen and learn a little bit more about this artist. Some of the things that I really like about this artist are how they use really brisk, refreshing colors, and that pairs really well with their clean lines in their style of art. Even in their work that depicts sadness or anger, there's still a brightness in the tone that I find really alluring about their work. So if you guys like this artist or any other artist that you've seen on Blerd News, please be sure to like their content, share their content, follow them, just show them the love and support that they deserve. And if you guys have any artists that you'd like to see featured, send us their name and where we can find them. I'm Princess Sahida, and this is Blerd News.
And finally, we have Comic of the Day. Comic of the Day is Spider-Man 2099 Exodus Omega. Now, there are 2 issues to this. There's an Omega, and there's also an Alpha. This is the Omega. Now, this story has like a lot of different things inside of it. It all takes place in the 2099 futuristic aspect. 2099, for those, a lot of you don't know, is like the futuristic tale of Miguel O'Hara. He is like the future Spider-Man. And in this, you also have the X-Men a part of the story, along with the Spider-Man 2099 of that era. And I picked this one simply because like it shows that I think Marvel is going to be branching out into like the futuristic branch of their comic book world. And like honestly, I'm really here to see something like that, considering that if you are a big fan of the futuristic stories, seeing like stories like Batman Beyond, The Legionnaires, it has like a good element to see how some of these stories may or may not work themselves out, and like, you know, how writers are writing themselves around things like that. That's always a fun trip for me, but I'm a big time travel guy, so what can I say? That has been the news for this week. Anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know. I ask you every single time on Twitter and Instagram, what should I be talking about here on Blerd News? Let me know what I can talk about for you guys. Until next time, take it easy.